What happens in Vegas gets known all over social media. I think that Vegas is one of the most interesting towns. I've been all over the world. There's a lot of places I really like. And every time I've thought about moving my hat and going somewhere else, I don't see it having the freedom, the flexibility, the opportunities. I think Vegas will always be a world destination. And I think it's a place that the car culture is growing. I mean, we just built that amazing Raider Stadium. I mean, the football field, the ground comes out either side and it's real grass and they have to nurture it outside. You can see it when you're driving down the highway. And then the back of the stadium that's facing the strip is like having a house with sliding doors that open up at the back of your house. So when you're sitting in a game at night and the night comes down, the whole back of the stadium opens up and has a view of the strip. How cool is that? I mean, that's just amazing. And we didn't have sports when I moved to Vegas. You just didn't have sports, right? So now we've got one of the best hockey teams, go figure, in the desert. And they almost went to the Stanley Cup, not last year, but the year before. You got the Raiders. And now they're talking about having a World Cup soccer game there. And they're going to bring an MLB baseball team in, right? We already have semi-professional baseball there. Now they're going to, I hear, knock down the Rio and put a stadium like the Raider Stadium for baseball. And they're going to bring a basketball team. I mean, think about where you can have that much fun, that much access. And when you don't want to go to it, you live off the strip, but the action's always there. And I think the people that leave there that are my friends, I tell them, you'll be back. Because last night we're walking around Atlanta and it's beautiful here. I love it. But 11 o'clock at night, it's like last call, everything's shut down. There's nobody on the streets. It's family America, right? Where in Vegas, you can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. If you want to go have a 5-star meal, you can get in your car and go eat, come home. I mean, you have access 24/7. I think that's what people love when they come to Vegas, is they have so much access to so much, they can't ever get bored. But, strip clubs have a love-hate relationship in Vegas because of businessmen and conventions. The strip clubs would probably be there, but they wouldn't be what they are today if it wasn't for corporate America taking and having business meetings inside a strip club. Why do I know that? Because conventions are what drives Vegas, half of its economy, right? And they always have somewhere to go after dinner, and where do they end up? The Rhino, the Crazy Horse 3, Hustler. And these guys walk in spending tens of thousands of dollars a night. Now, a small percentage would be like celebrities, sports players, actors, actresses. Anybody that's from LA will come in and want to have a good time because they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, I'm going to tell you that's not true. And the reason we know that is because of social media. What happens in Vegas gets known all over social media. So that's kind of marketing's thing that Vegas had for a long time. There's two sides to it, right? It's great for the town as far as generating revenue, but also it's supporting something that a lot of people are against. So you have, different sides of the coin, and it depends on who you are as a person. This is something that you don't enjoy, don't go there. You shouldn't have an opinion, because you like to play, chess or backgammon doesn't mean I like to, or the other versa, or vice versa. Everybody's got their likes and dislikes, right? I would personally say that I pulled a lot of business out of strip clubs from the guys that work there. Why? Because they make a lot of money. And when they make a lot of money, they have nice cars. And when they have nice cars, they need what? They need to work. So that was a great opportunity for me to network and go in and build relationships. It's funny, when you went to strip clubs like 10 years ago, and I was friends with some of the girls there because I've been single. I just got married like 3 years ago. So this was in a lifetime. And if my wife's watching this, she already knows what I was and who I am now. So we have to clarify that. Don't want any problems. When I was single, I dated some of the dancers and I was really impressed. The ones that were more conversational, they had it down to a science. I would average in 5 or 6 hours between $3,000 and $5,000. And they would do that 4 nights a week. So that kind of answers your question. If girls were working in the floor and doing $20 dances, they'd have to do a lot of dances. They would probably make anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000 a night. And this was like 10 years ago. So what happened is things started to evolve and change. And if conventions weren't rolling, then the girls weren't having the same clients, because you're not going to make enough money off locals. You're going to make money off of guys with a black Amex card. They're coming for the weekend. They're going to entertain clients. They want to spoil them. And those are the ones that will spend the stupid money. I wouldn't say $1 million a year. I would say comfortably $500,000 a year. That would be my guess from watching them with money. But I would say they would probably make $1 million a year with a sugar daddy and their job. And sugar daddies in Vegas are very common. It's very common. Not that they're not sugar daddies everywhere, but I knew a couple of the girls that were friends of mine And I didn't choose to date them or become romantic with them, but we were friends, and they would be very open with me about, hey, I made X last year and I made X with my sugar daddy, you know? So would $1 million be unreasonable for a very hot girl with a sugar daddy and working in the club? No, but there's not a lot of girls doing that. I mean, you have to be the creme of the creme. And I only knew 2 girls like that. Most of them was funny. They drove Mercedes. So Mercedes was like the most notorious stripper car, and they always smelled like weed on the inside and really like cheap perfume. Like the combo. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but I hope that you don't, because it's not a good one. But that was pretty common. Mercedes was number 1. Number 2 was a Range Rover. And if the girl had the sugar daddy and she was top of the club, she's driving a G Wagon. So we didn't see a lot of Beamers. And here's the funny thing. All the strippers' cars were always the same color. So when you pull in the back of like Spearmint Rhino and you look at all where the strippers park, 80% white cars. Now, the girl that's driving the G Wagon with the solid gold Rolex and the diamonds, she's driving a G Wagon every day when she comes in. Did I ever see a stripper get in and out of an exotic car? Yes, but I don't think it was their car. I think it was the sugar daddy's car. Like a Lambo Murcielago I saw a few years ago. A stripper pull up to work in a purple wrapped Murcielago, and I saw one in a McLaren that was wrapped in satin black. When I first moved to Vegas, Rhino didn't exist. Remember we talked about Crazy Horse and Ralph and Bart, and when that got shut down, Rhino was just starting up, but Rhino previously was a gay bar. The 2 guys that owned it, named Kay, Kyle, and Kevin, they're attorneys in Vegas, very well-known attorneys, and they owned this gay bar, and they lived a gay lifestyle, and they were customers of mine. And that was in 1995, and they quickly met another gentleman out of LA who, I don't really want to say who it is, but he's the founder of Spearmint Rhino, came to Kay, Kyle, and Kevin and said, hey, let's remove your gay bar and put in a strip club. And they weren't very sold on in the beginning, and he had to do a lot of persuasion. But they eventually started it, and it was 1 room they owned, and then it grew to 2 rooms, and then they bought the whole shopping center completely a few years ago. It is one of the largest strip clubs in the world. It's about 100,000 square feet. When it opened, it was less than 10,000 square feet. And it's the top producing strip club revenue in the world. Oh, when you pull in the back of the Rhino, I mean, obviously, because I'm friends with the guys that work there and I have a relationship with a lot of the guys, I do work on their cars, they always take care of me. So over the years, I would park and pull my car in the back, and there is a private VIP entrance behind the club not open to the public. This is where the dancers obviously come in. And I would pull in the back and always have my own parking spot. But when you would see the cars lined up in the back, it had to be, I would say, $30-40 million worth of exotic cars. I mean, whether it was a dancer there, whether it was a patron there. I've seen Mayweather there with all of his cars. And I've dealt with Mayweather. Funny story, I played basketball with him when he lived in Southern Highlands. My neighbor, Don Nobis, was his neighbor. And I played basketball with Mayweather a couple times. Super nice guy in person. He puts on a persona when he's like in front of the camera. But he's a super cool guy. Wanted me to work on his cars. Said, hey, do it for free. I'll promote you. And I knew people that had done that, and I said, you know what, Mayweather, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to work on your cars for free. And I've seen him occasionally around town, but he would be like one of the examples. Then he bought a strip club 2 blocks from Rhino a couple of years ago and opened up his own strip club. Now, is it successful? From what I hear, no. But do I think he cares? No. He just wants a strip club. I would say the level of experience of strip clubs in Vegas is different because they treat it like a high-end nightclub, which means that everybody's dressed to the nines. The women and even the workers of the club are very professional. I will tell you, being on Gold Rush Rally, we've hit about every strip club in every state over the last 10 years. And everybody always says, God, I thought all clubs were like strip clubs in Vegas. And you learn very quickly going to these other cities, oh no, it's not the same. You understand why and appreciate the strip clubs in Vegas, and that's a big difference. And some of the other guys in Gold Rush, they say it's like walking into a brothel at these other places. Where you walk into a strip club in Vegas, it's like walking into a nightclub, a very upscale nightclub. And people think that it's scandalous and shady, and maybe behind closed doors there's deals going on, but it literally, women, even my wife, likes to go there and hang out because the atmosphere is very high end and it's very relaxing. And there's no pressure. So we like to go enjoy it. And you can't have that in other states that we've gone to. I mean, me and my wife on Gold Rush, and we've went in and walked out and said, that was nasty. That's a strip club.
We'd like to thank Auto Tempest for their support of this month's videos on VINwiki. Auto Tempest is the best place to find your next car. Whether it's your dream car or your next project, anything you want to look for, it's the most powerful tool to search all the major listing sites at the same time. They give you much more specific search criteria. They are the supporter of Car Trek, and we cannot thank them enough for that, but this is now their 4th year of sponsoring the VINwiki channel. So be sure to thank them now by checking out the link in the description below to search for your next car. Autotempest.com, all the cars, one search.